Greetings and welcome once again to another exciting episode of RoadTripja, the heartbeat of Jamaica's road. Today, our excursion will be taking us from the Albion gas station area, that is Albion Estate Community, all the way to Harbour View. On this journey, we'll be passing through the Bull Bay St. Thomas region and the Bull Bay St. Andrew region as we make our way to Harbour View. At this time, we're seeing different changes taking place on the road network. The infrastructure changes are evident. We are seeing where the first and last bar has been removed. We are seeing straight ahead where they are building a tunnel in the middle of the road so that they can lay their pipe and their support beams so that the road can traverse over this area. As we move further down, we are seeing where the road is currently being widened. However, this day, we will be moving on the opposite side as we take the journey back to where it all began. So instead of us customary driving on the right hand, we'll be driving on the left hand, which is closer in proximity towards the first and last bar or the remnants thereof. So now we're moving on that terrain, and you can see what is happening in the geography. It is indeed a beautiful day here on this day in February 15th, 2023, as we make our way. Yes, the road on this section is almost complete, not yet fully complete, but in time we will have it in a satisfactory state where we can all enjoy a 15-minute drive from Albion all the way to Harbour View. And I know that there will be someone who tries to reach Harbour View in 5 minutes. But for today, we're just going to try to see if we can reach Harbour View within 13 minutes plus or minus. Usually we'll head straight across, but now we're going on the other section which we were not allowed to drive on before. So now we're moving on to the right hand side, which has been completed to a great degree. So we can drive on this section while they work on the left hand section. And as you can see, the road terrain is relatively smooth. It is much better than the turbulent infrastructure that we had to traverse in the past. The road is a little bit moist at this time as we have been having infrequent drizzle and scattered showers. Now we're in the Grand Span geography, and this is a community that has been circumvented, and that community can be found further on your left hand. Yes, this community has been circumvented, but the community has not been forgotten. As we make our way past this truck, we will come upon the area from which those in the community can come to rejoin with this thoroughfare. And that is just a small opening to allow the interlocking of both sides and the interconnectivity. This seems to be temporary, but let us see what the end result is. So this is it on our left hand, and as we make our way, as we continue all the way to the end section of this Grand Span area, we will be pleased to know that they are working on the section which is almost completed. If you look straight ahead, you can see where the road that was below is now elevated. It's soon time for us to drive straight across. So this deep corner, this unusual corner here, will no longer be the case. We'll just drive straight across. So this concludes where this leg of the highway will be. This is a journey from Albion Estate all the way to the Grand Span community. This area in which we are traversing at this time will be circumvented And this is just to give you a good look at what the area still looks like, and you just can be aware that in the future it is less likely that the government will do any further work on this road network. Based on the design of the road infrastructure, this will be what it will be like for the near future until something tragic happens, because you know that we are more reactive stuff people than a proactive set of individuals. Don't mind the glare in the screen. You can understand that with the dust, the dirt, and the grime on our mirror, you can appreciate why we have some areas in which we have low visibility. But extend your forgiveness to us as we traverse. Yes, so we're at the top of this hill, which will be taking us down to the Albion Heights community. And that is where the next section of the road will end. If we look to our left, well, you may not be able to see, but if we look from our left, you can see all the way back to the Grand Spend community, the joining section. And this road will take us to the exit of that section from Grand Spend to the Albion Heights community. So as we move around, we can just get a glimpse of what is, what was, and have an idea as to what is to come. Yes, I hope that you're having a beautiful day, whatever time of day you're watching this, whether it is day, night, or evening. It is said that the evening and the morning were the first day, so whatever time it is, always day somewhere on this globe. So now we're making our descent, and we're going to be joining the section that would take us from the Grand Spend area to the Albion Heights community, which can be seen on our left hand, and we can see construction work being undertaken. And if we move on peruse to our right hand side, we can see where the road expansion will continue. So in a little while we'll be driving on that section as they continue to elevate and in some instances do some excavation. This is what it will look like. So you can just look in your mind eye and just visit our previous plans, which we had outlined and indicated about the road infrastructure, and see what comparison from where we were to where we are. Now we're going to be moving back again on another section that has been somewhat completed. And this leg is from the Albion Heights community, which will be taking us into the Mesca Garden community and all the way to the Bull Bay St. Andrew border. Yes. So we're actually here in Bull Bay St. Thomas at this time. So this area is actually Bull Bay, and it's Bull Bay St. Thomas. So we have two parishes in close proximity to each other. And if you were remembering, or you can recall, this area here did not exist as an area that we could have traversed only a few months ago. We were driving around where we see those light posts to come onto this area, and we'll be going over onto our left hand, extreme left, but that there is a thing of the past. So now we're on this thoroughfare, so we're getting a closer glimpse as to what it is that is actually happening for this developmental project. And indeed it is looking good, and we are truly grateful for all that has been taking place. The China Harbour Engineering Company has been doing a phenomenal job, and for that we have to give them their commendation. I know that many of you may have seen the work that has been taking place in the other subsections of this road network, and know that this area is one of the premier areas as it is moving with the greatest level of progress and efficiency. So now we're concluding this leg in the Masga Garden community as we make our way to the Bull Bay St. Andrew border, moving out of Bull Bay St. Thomas. What is going to happen from here? We're going to be driving straight across over to where we see the Suncoast Adventure Park used to be. That is where we should be driving, not around this section. This is the section that is here for now. However, that is not where we will be driving in the future. And then we will be taking that terrain all the way over to the extreme right where you see the precipice area. However, in the interim, what is being done is that a road network is being developed so as we can continue along this side where the excavation is currently taking place on the right as we make our way to Bull Bay St. Andrew, so as we can come out at this section while they complete the road work on the left hand. So now we're in Bull Bay St. Andrew and we're trying to make our way all the way down into closer to where the Bull Pass Bridge is. So at this time, we're just going to have a brief conversation as to what is taking place in Jamaica. A lot of strange things have been taking place in Jamaica. And at the end of this road, then we'll be getting back into the commentary. We must say that indeed Jamaica is under attack. It seems as though there is some demonic influences holding Jamaica hostage. And I'm assuming that it could have been due to the influence and the association of the leadership of this country. If you recall, Jamaica has been in the news quite frequently since the start of the year, and we have been having some strange internal occurrences taking place here in Jamaica. In this week's news, we saw where the SSL saga is practically going nowhere. The person that has been used as a scapegoat, there has been some charges laid against her. However, she has not confessed to the entanglement or the misappropriation of the funds for the Sprint Legend, but 40 clients allegedly were implicated based on her handling of funds. But I am quite skeptical as to the news that has been presented, the charges that has been laid. I know that investigation is going on and it's ongoing. However, based on my preliminary investigation from the information that is in the public domain, it would be prudent for the investigative officer to exit probing this said individual and move into probing someone who is at a higher level or at a higher rank in the organization. Because if you put 2 and 2 together, you realize that there is a great discrepancy in the information presented. And as I've always said to people, the banker teller has little to no power to cause such a great heist. And the lady that has been implicated, though she had access, she also needed clearance. The persons who gave her the clearance, those persons need to be implicated in the situation as well. But we understand how it is here in Jamaica. Someone has to be the scapegoat, and apparently she was the one that has been elected to be the scapegoat. I want to see actions taken against the person who actually owns the company, because that person should be ultimately responsible. The CEO, the CFO, the COO, and all those who have had associations with the company needs to be implicated in this mix. So that is just one story that has been taking place here in Jamaica. And if you want, you can always read the news article to see what kind of ludicrous behavior is happening in our financial sector. The budget has been tabled in part. Negotiations are still on for the ladies and gentlemen offering service to the government of Jamaica. We're talking about the civil servants. Some of the teachers have yet to come to an agreement, and we have other sectors who are still in negotiation, but they have indicated that they will not be bullied by the 6 weeks timeline that is currently remaining. And if that couldn't be bad enough, the Prime Minister himself, the most honorable Andrew Holness, has been caught up in a situation, let's call it a situationship, in which by association there seems to have been conflict of interest being executed. And even though his team indicated that they are 100% behind him, the evidence indicates that his association could have influenced contract awards that were given to his friends or his close associate. We have been even privy to information based on the news reporting that his name was once affixed as a board member, and now his name is just there as a shareholder in a particular company, which we will not get into the details of that. He has come and said that it has been 14 or 15 years, but let us be realistic. It doesn't matter whether it is 100 or 200 years. If you, in any state of your life, had your hands dirtied or muddled by association, all of that needs to be brought to the forefront. And I think that now is not necessarily the best time to bring it to the forefront. This should have been brought to the forefront while you were being on the roll to be elected. So all this should have been brought on the forefront. But nevertheless, it has been brought now, and then we have to deal with this situation. So what is it saying to us? It is saying to us that the actions that we have done, whether they be good or bad, whether they be corrupt or incorruptible actions, they will catch up to us. But we know how Jamaica is, so all of this will be pushed under the carpet. And surprisingly, guess what? The office of the Prime Minister was recently engaged by cyber attacks, allegedly. So this could be a backup plan for concealment, but we never know. Let's get into some more crazy things that have been happening in Jamaica as we make our way past Bull Bay, St. Andrew into the Bull Pass Bridge area. So we are seeing that the US student was abducted by her alleged boyfriend or a socio-psychopath, whatever that individual was, burned multiple times, but he's from an affluent family. So let us see what will happen. That is where we're going to pause the news for a little while before we get back into the discovery. So we're currently here on location in the Bull Bay area, and we are passing the Bull Pass Bridge area, and this is just a guide as to where the road network will exit from the Bull Pass Bridge. And this is the exit, and then this is the area you have on the right and on the left where the road will be placed. So on the left hand, you see that the road has been elevated, it has been pressed, so that is where we'll be driving on in a little while. But on the right, they are currently working on it, and this is the area that we are driving on. We are realizing that there is not as much turbulence as we had last time when we were on this road. So now we can have a better appreciation as to what is happening in this geography. Indeed, we are truly blessed to have these roads getting some TLC as we embark into the future. And I don't want anyone to think that this is being given freely. This is given with an intent for a return on the investment. What am I saying? It means then that We will be having more patrol. The government will be finding more ways to try to get money from our pockets to pay for the construction of this road network. So whatever taxation, whatever new laws and regime, whatever increase in the accounts that they see feasible, they will be executing it. And we are seeing that the road on the left is almost ready for us to be driving on. When that is complete, that's the side we'll be driving on as they continue work on the right hand. But they're not quite ready for us just yet on that side. If you look around, you can see the different changes that have been taking place. The road is coming on. This area, all this area where the police station is, will be removed, demolished, as that is the side that we will be driving on in a little while. And that would be 2 lanes on that side, and where we're driving on, another 2 lanes in the opposite direction. So as we make our way down to St. Andrew, further down into St. Andrew, in Bull Bay, Harbour View area, we will just use our eyes to peruse the changes that have been taken place and see if we can spot any new discoveries that may have been missed, or there has been a slight or brief oversight. So this is where we're going to pause the commentary for this moment as you allow yourself to be visually stimulated as you peruse from left to right and right to left. But while you are at it, let us get back into some changes that have been taking place in Jamaica. So yes, we have been seeing some crazy stuff happening in Jamaica. The news have been presenting a lot of information to us, and some of this information has been quite concerning, especially the discovery of an altercation between 2 or 3 school-age young men. We saw a young man was being kicked and abused by fellow colleagues from a school beginning with D, and that individual seemed to have succumbed to a great degree to the travesty that has occurred. And if you were privileged, or should I even say privileged, if you were allowed to see the video, you'll realize that there were some questionable acts taking place. Because in the video, what many persons may have not realized is that one of the young man had his pants open, and the other young man was being beaten, and the young man being beaten was on his knees. So this reminds me of the things that happen in prison, and I am just appalled that these kind of things would be happening in our schools. You know, when a fresh meat goes to prison, based on how the movie is presented, you have the big man come down with his boys behind him, and he's telling the new guy the rules, and then he will have his pants open, and then the new guy would be on his knees doing all manner of evil stuff. So these are the I am not sure if it's the movies that the young people are watching, the homes that they have been grown up in, which cause their mind to be so decadent that they can think to do these things to each other. So we're seeing it from the high school level that children need guidance. We're seeing it at the college level that even though you may be in the universities, you are still abusive based on your brought-upcy. So there is a lot of things that have been happening in this country. Some of it I can't even make mention of. Even some instances with the police throwing a young lady on the ground and pulling her like a piece of meat. I can't even mention all the things that have been happening in the month of February. And there are things that has not reached the media, but the mainstream media, but they're on social media. It's good that people can now record incidents as they happen in real life. So I think that what we need to do is to be praying for these people, praying for the persons in leadership. I know that They mean us no good, but the Bible says that we should pray for them. Yes, we have to pray for them so that they can come to their senses and realize that they're selling out their own country. And yes, we understand that you don't want the J party or you don't want the P party. So what is it that we're going to do? We are going to have to create a new party. And if you are not willing to start over, then we will never have the right party. Then again, we have to realize that these things are not just happening in isolation. They are happening because of strategic design. But are you working in accordance with the design? That is something that you have to think about. I'm not here to give you my opinion. I'm just here to present the information and allow you to utilize your cerebellum and your cerebrum so that you can come to a rational decision after you have executed your freedom and your capacity to think in a sterile environment while perusing the activities that have been taking place in the country of Jamaica. I know that it may seem like a gruesome place to be, but that is not the truth. This only take place most frequently in certain areas. So we have to understand when the politicians make rules and laws that are not in the people's best interests. We have to understand why they are making these provisions, because they are not being affected. They don't understand. They have never really been in the position where they have nothing. The more disadvantaged you are, the more advantage people take of your disadvantage. And that is why when you are poor, your back is the back that the country is going to be using to move forward. You are the workers. So until we come to the realization that things are not where they should be, and we have put measures in place to get them to where they need to be, we're always going to be in the repetitive cycle of in and out and out and in and out and out and in, just moving around in a circle. But that is not what I want you to do. I want you to pray for this country. I want you to just counsel someone if you get a chance. I want you to be the peacemaker, the change maker as we move forward in this month of February 2023. So from this moment forward, I want you to commit to being a positive change. It starts with one person at a time. So this time is your time, and we are imploring you to do your best as you seek to aid in the forward movement of Jamaica. I know that we have stated a lot, and there's a lot more to be stated, but I will allow you at this time to just enjoy the different changes that have been taking place as we step aside and encourage you to walk, ride, drive, and fly good. Signing out from RoadTripja, the heartbeat of Jamaica's road, is Dr. A. Have yourself a beautiful day.